Welcome to the Geico ESPN High School Basketball Showcase. Tonight in Benton, Kentucky, it's the number 5 Oak Hill Academy Warriors out of Virginia and the 13th ranked Chaminade Red Devils from Missouri. Mike Cousins along with Paul Biancardi, ESPN's National Director of Recruiting. Glad to have you along. Our starting lineups tonight brought to you by ARS Rescue Rooter for Oak Hill. Watch Mario Kegler, number 32 in the ESPN 100, signed to Mississippi State. And for Chaminade, the number 2 player in the country, number 22 in red at the middle circle, Jason Tatum, signed to Duke. Away we go. Chaminade, number 13 in the country in red. Oak Hill, a perennial national power, in white. Tyler Cook works his way into the paint. The number 51 player in the ESPN 100 quickly fouled 11 seconds in.
Tyler Cook, signed with Iowa. Strong, thick, powerful at the rim. I like the way Chaminade goes right inside to try to establish Cook on the inside. Oak Hill talented deep. Try to get him in some foul trouble.
Cook, one of 2 ESPN-ranked players on this Chaminade roster. Oak Hill has 6 in total.
Mario Kegler and Braxton Key, a pair of defensive ends, body-wise. Kegler, an outside shooter. Key, an outstanding defender. You're going to see him on Jason Tatum to start this game. Watch for that matchup. 3 in the red on Jason Tatum. I'm sorry, 3 in the white on Jason Tatum.
Oak Hill goes to work, a team that lost a lot of pieces from a year ago, but maintains excellence year in and year out under 31st year head coach Steve Smith. Wigginton, the native of Buffalo, New York. Outside for Coleman, and the short corner jumper for Kegler is good, the senior from Jackson, Mississippi.
Kegler likes to predicate his game based on how he's making jump shots. It's important that he gets his first couple of shots going in.
Tatum got loose. He had 2 defenders chasing him. First look from Gladson didn't go, and Cook couldn't follow. Oak Hill and Steve Smith, last year's Naismith Coach of the Year, a team that lost to Montverde Academy out of Florida. Dick's Nationals, what is essentially the high school basketball championship. Sent more than 100 players to the Division I level. Ball out of bounds and off of Oak Hill. Good awareness there from Mike Lewis. And Frank Bennett, the head coach at Chaminade. Last year a 25-4 campaign for the 2001 graduate of the St. Louis area school.
First play for Oak Hill, Steve Smith ran that little jump shot for Mario Kegler, trying to get him off early.
Mike Lewis, the point guard, senior. Time to play at Duquesne next year. Cook slips, and a foul is called on the perimeter. That goes on Hadim C, the senior center from Senegal, his first and the team's second.
First 2 possessions for Chaminade. They're going to Tyler Cook, first in the low post. Second at the pinch post, the elbow.
And for Cook, in the 3-year starter, goes back to his point guard Lewis, 2 in the red. Cook works on C. Backing him down in single coverage, fades away, and a beautiful shot for 2.
Cook's a high percentage guy. Stays within 15 feet, has a soft touch.
Coleman, the southpaw from Norfolk, Virginia, with a quick answer at the other end.
Matt Coleman, one of the best juniors in the country. Outstanding point guard. He can make that mid-range shot, but his game is about facilitating.
Tatum dials it up from deep. Lewis, the offensive rebound. Hands high, and Key gets the rejection. He leads a 3-on-2 break, and is going to the free throw line as he got caught between Tatum and Helms.
Braxton Key right there, 3 in the white. He's headed to play for Avery Johnson in Alabama. You see his versatility, the ability to get the rebound, push it, start to break himself.
And that's a nice recruiting win there for Avery Johnson. Hey, Paul, it was about a year ago and 2 days that we were working with Avery Johnson.
We were calling a game with him. Now he has like a top-rated recruiting class.
Down in Texas. I saw some guys that went on to play at Texas A&M this year.
I saw Terrence Ferguson in our first game, an Alabama commit. And Avery Johnson has done an outstanding job bringing life into that program. When I watched them play this weekend, it was confidence. I saw confidence in the Crimson Tide.
They love his play calling too. Mike Lewis turns the corner and scores. Inside the arc, Chaminade with a 6-5 lead. Jason Tatum and Tyler Cook, Paul, are the headliners for this team, but the emphasis there is on team. It is a talented group on the floor.
And they play well together. They're well coached by Frank Bennett. You know, Jason Tatum is the star, but he's a good teammate as well.
He feeds a little bit too far ahead for his sophomore teammate, Jarrett Cole-Helms, and out of bounds. Chaminade still up by 1.
Jason Tatum brings outstanding offensive versatility to the game.
Coleman runs the show here. Terrence Phillips, their point guard of a few years, gone off to college, so looking to replace him. Into the lane, Kegler gets the front iron. C with a kick out, 3-point try. Wigginton hits the bucket.
Corey Alexander, the assistant coach for Oak Hill, is talking about how well he's been practicing. That's why he's starting right now.
Chaminade quickly turns it over, down by 2. And Wigginton, baseline drive, trying to turn the corner against Helms and draws the personal foul.
Lindell Wiggin, the class of 2017, starting to get some offers. High major, Boston College, Florida State, Tennessee, for 5 in the white.
C battling for position in the post. Coleman didn't look inside to him. 3-point try, Key. Off the mark, Cook comes in for the board.
Mike Coleman's got to get rid of all those dribbles. He took about 7, didn't go anywhere.
Tatum had his shot tip. Now contact as Lewis comes up court and bangs shoulders with Coleman. That's the first on Lewis. Still 8-6 Oak Hill, almost 4 minutes gone.
Oak Hill is not dominated by one player. You have Kegler, Key, Coleman, all guys who can score double figures. Levante Shula, young man from South Carolina, explosive athlete coming off the bench.
Into the lane, and a fade to the left. Wigginton puts it in.
That was a great move by Wigginton. The body control to avoid the block and make the basket.
Off the screen, Lewis comes up empty. Key with the rebound, feeds ahead. Wigginton back to Key for the slam. And a timeout for Chaminade. It's 12-6 Oak Hill out in front. The Red Devils having some problems on the offensive end, and a turnover leads to a breakaway. Sharing mentality leads to 2 for number 3.
Geico ESPN High School Basketball Showcase is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And ARS Rescue Router Network, united by exceptional service.
The Arizona State game, the Vanderbilt game, the Tennessee game, and the Ole Miss game, all of those games at Rupp Arena. You can purchase those tickets from the Athletic Foundation table. They're located on the upper concourse, also the Marshall County Dugout Club.
Welcome back to Jimmy V Week for Cancer Research on ESPN as we continue our commitment to the V Foundation and Jim Valvano's dream to defeat cancer. Back here in Benton, Kentucky, early on, Oak Hill, the number 5 team in the country, with a 12-6 lead over the Chaminade Red Devils and Jason Tatum, the number 2 player in the country. My cousins, Paul Biancardi, glad to have you along here tonight. Paul, we've talked about Jason Tatum, who is signed to Duke, and his teammate Tyler Cook. They face an uphill battle here tonight trying to defeat Oak Hill.
Well, Jason Tatum, the number 2 player in the country, what makes him special is his offensive versatility. What sets him apart is his ability to score after the catch. against a set defense. In a ball screen situation, he navigates well, uses the step back. Look at his high release, rotation, and wrist snap on the follow through. He's the master of the mid-range game, loves to score off the bounce. And if you get too close, Tatum will get to the rim and find a way to put it in.
We see him there playing at the Nike Beach Jam over the summer. One of the good parts about what he's got here on this team is a couple of AAU teammates are also high school teammates.
And Tyler Cook provides the inside for Jason Tatum. A great low post player, good at the high post. He's thick, he's strong. We know Jason Tatum and Tyler Cook are going to deliver. Will Chaminade get that third scorer tonight against the talented and deep Oak Hill team?
And there's the leader of the Jason Tatum cheering section, his mom, Brandy Cole. Here to watch tonight is Chaminade, number 13 in the country, looks for the upset over 5th-ranked Oak Hill.
Mike, she has never missed a road game in all the years Jason Tatum has played his high school basketball, summer circuit and high school.
And that's a lot of travel over the summer for an elite player like Jason Tatum.
When he gets to Dukes, you can watch him on TV all the time.
Nice win for the Blue Devils last night over the Hoosiers of Indiana, 20-point win.
How about Brandon Ingram? You know, coming out of his shell a little bit more. Coach K putting a little pressure on him, a little good pressure. He delivered with 18 points in the first 12 minutes.
Part of a top recruiting class there in Durham. Jericho Helms lines up an open look. Tatum there to fight for the offensive board, and he's got it. Double team goes baseline, faces 3 defenders, comes up short, second chance, and Helms is rejected with contact. That's a foul. He'll go to the line.
Jason Tatum keeps that shot alive off the glass. Talk about offensive versatility. You know, Tatum tries to hit the glass, keeps it alive for his teammate. Chaminade trying to get some points from the free throw line. That's the thing about Jason Tatum, Mike. It's his three-point shooting is much improved. He's the master of the mid-range game. He's got a paint game. He hits the glass. He can handle the basketball. His offensive versatility is second to none in the senior class.
Back-to-back Gatorade Player of the Year awards for Tatum, 2014 and 2015 in the state of Missouri. The foul was on Mario Kegler for Oak Hill, so he takes a seat right now. And Tyshawn Alexander, number 21 in the white, has come into the game. Wigginton with a blow-by against Brucinich. And a drop-off at the bucket for C.
I'll tell you what, Wigginton has been impressive to me in this first quarter. A couple of baskets, a couple of assists. Alert defensively. You can see why Steve Smith is starting him right now.
All 5 players with at least, or all 5 starters for Oak Hill with at least 2 points.
But Wigginton was coming off the bench, but his last 3 games he's had 26, 25, and 24.
Tatum from the corner drains the 3. It's a 3-point game with Oak Hill up by a triple. Quick response at the other end is off the mark from Matt Coleman. Now Tatum right to the basket. A game-changing player makes it a 1-point game.
When you talk about Tatum scoring from different spots on the floor, the left corner 3, the drive to the rim. You know, he's comfortable and confident from every spot on the floor.
Just picked up 5 points in the span of 12 seconds there. And Chaminade into the corner. Tyshawn Alexander, fresh off the bench, provides offense with a triple. Number 50 player in the junior class is verbally committed to Creighton.
And that's what he does, 21 in the white. Instant offense, 3-point shooting. Steve Smith says, you know, he's our best shooter. But at times he's streaky. He had 6 threes in the game this year in the first half alone. But then there'll be nights he'll go 1 for 5.
Another player picking up his second foul for Oak Hill. Nadim C. now has his second. So 42 in the white under the basket. Rodney Miller, the Miami signee, has come in.
You see Oak Hill in a 2-3 zone. They trap Tatum on the wing to try to get the ball out of his hands. Tatum alertly back dribbles and just reverses it. Doesn't panic.
Cook gets it in the high post, a dangerous spot inside the zone. He goes to the corner, and Reggie Crawford delivers.
That's what Chaminade needs, Mike. They need a third scorer. Because you know Oak Hill has 4 or 5 guys that can get double figures.
Back to the corner, Alexander, same spot, different result. And a foul on the rebound. That's going to go against Braxton Key. First on the senior from Nashville as he got tangled with Tatum. Well, Paul, coming up right after we're done here, it's a great matchup, Kentucky and UCLA at 9 Eastern. Tyler Eulis, hyperextended right elbow. Will they be able to help the Wildcats tonight? Catch the game also streaming live on Watch ESPN. They have not been the same team without Tyler Eulis. And that's nothing against Isaiah Briscoe.
Well, Eulis is a pure point guard, but when you look at Kentucky and UCLA, you're looking at the number 1 and number 4 recruiting classes next year.
Alexander whistled for the foul off the missed 3 by Tatum. And that sends Isaac Olson, 6'6" senior, to the free throw line. Chance to tie it, and he does, even at 17. ESPN 100 for next year. And Kentucky, in that early signing period, made a huge run, Paul.
They got 3 top 10 players in the span of a week. De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk, and Bam Adebayo. UCLA, 3 top 100 players, and the best passer in the high school game, Lonzo Ball, headed to UCLA next year.
Matt Coleman gets the bucket there, and a heave by Lewis at the end of quarter number 1. No good. 19-18, Oak Hill over Chaminade after 1 exciting quarter.
The number 2 player in the nation, Jason Tatum, does it in different ways. The 3 from the corner, the transition drive.
One quarter gone here in Kentucky. Oak Hill up by 1 over Chaminade and Duke-bound Jason Tatum. Part of one of the best recruiting classes in the country. It's Tatum at number 2 in the ESPN 100, Harry Giles at number 1, and it's the first time, Paul, in the ESPN 100 era that any school has gotten a commitment from 1 and 2.
When you look at Giles and Tatum and you put them on the court together, you have a dynamic duo. But the guy that I want to mention, and the name that I want everyone to remember, is Frank Jackson out of Utah, the number 1 player in the state of Utah. A combination guard, can play on and off the ball. He's super athletic, Mike. We saw that at the Elite 24. He can make threes, read the game. I think he's going to be real special at Duke, along with Giles and Tatum.
Jackson out of Lone Peak High School in Utah. And our travels will take us there come 2016, early February. We'll see Frank Jackson. Tatum, 5 points in quarter number 1. Now was asked to run the offense here for Chaminade. Into the high post, kick out to the wing. Lewis.
Oak Hill's playing a 2-3 zone. Chaminade gets the ball to the middle. Good job. But the man in the middle has to turn and face the basket before he just throws it out for a 3-point shot. If you face the basket, the defense will suck in, then you kick it out.
Foul on Chaminade's Reggie Crawford, his first. 16 fouls against Oak Hill, 4 have been called on Chaminade. Coleman feeds inside. Key for Alexander, and now to the corner, Wigginton. Short on the try, gets the offensive rebound, goes off the window, and gets the basket.
Love the alertness of Wigginton. As soon as that shot misses, he knows right where to go. Face the basket right now, Cook. There you go.
Key, a spin into the lane, is met by Cook. On first look, appeared like it may have been a clean block, but instead, it's a foul on Cook, his first.
For all the players out there watching, the shot gets missed, and you miss it. Follow your shot. Get an offensive rebound, second chance point. I can see why the high majors are now starting to offer this young man. You know, he's got the body of a point guard, but he has the skill of a two guard.
His brother Rodell is a junior at Buffalo, third leading scorer for that club at 12 points a game. They've got a tough one coming up on Saturday. Going down at Cameron Indoor to take on Duke.
I think that was scheduled before Bobby Hurley.
I don't know
for Arizona State, huh?
Don't know that Nate Oates, as a first-year head coach, would have tried to schedule that one.
Now they're flashing Tatum to the middle. That's a good idea. But when you catch that ball in the middle, you got to face the basket and think about scoring, then passing.
Tatum back up top straight away. Guarded by Coleman, goes underneath. Rodney Miller came in but brought his hands down. And the foul is on the future Miami Hurricanes, sending Isaac Olson to the stripe.
Chaminade with good ball movement. They look a little tentative to me right now. I'd like to see them dribble gap it. But Jason Tatum finds his teammate under the basket. You can beat the zone in the short corners, the middle, and beside passing the ball around the perimeter, east and west, you want to gap the zone and drive it.
Paul Miller, who's headed to Miami, the number 9 class in the country, has not been a big contributor on these Oak Hill teams, but he provides a great frame at 6'11".
He'll protect the basket for Jim Larinaga. What a class Coach Larinaga and the staff put together. Bruce Brown, top 30 player from Vermont Academy. DeJuan Hewlett, a big, mobile, skilled center from the state of Florida, commits to Miami. Now you have Miller heading there as well, so you got some size going to the Hurricanes next year, and Bruce Brown reminds me of a Avery Bradley type, two-way guard.
Jason Tatum has just picked up his second foul, number 22 in the red. They're standing underneath the basket. NBA Friday presented by State Farm on ESPN. It's the Clash of the Boroughs, 7 Eastern. Nets and Knicks, 9:30. Cavs and Pelicans, and both games also streaming live on Watch ESPN.
Three-quarter court pressure got the turnover for the Warriors.
An errant pass into the hands of Miller. Coleman under the basket. Recollects after the loose ball. Into the lane, and the roll does not go for Braxton Key.
You can see Oak Hill really attacking Chaminade off the bounce. Trying to get points in the paint. Steve Smith told me that's one of the keys to the game, whether it's through the post-up game or the drive game. They want to get points in the paint. They want to get to the free throw line and then set up their pressure.
Steve Smith has watched a lot of talented players come and go through Mouth of Wilson, Virginia. Not exactly an easy place to find on the map.
Not a country club by no means, if you've ever been down there.
Dwayne Bacon, now at Florida State and tearing up the ACC, passed through last year, among many other players. And the Martin twins, now at NC State. Also former Oak Hill standout.
Cook with good patience. He knows he's not an outside shooter. A little bit closer, and Cook could have attacked on the baseline.
Tatum to the wing for Helms. Got two big men inside, Cook and Gladson, with Tatum roaming the perimeter.
They got to gap this zone, Mike. A quick dribble and then reverse it.
High-low, Gladson turned away. Miller had his arms straight up.
And that's what Miller can do for Jim Larinaga. That's a lot of points. Very physical team last year, Oak Hill. Daniel Gittins in the middle now for Ohio State. Terrence Phillips at Missouri. That was a physical group, an athletic group. The group that he has right now is, I think, more talented, and obviously it's a deeper team. With Harry Giles, it was almost an unbeatable team. Joe Hampton is out as well, the 6'7" power forward who's headed to Penn State. He's out with a knee injury this year too. So Giles and Hampton, but thank goodness he's got plenty of talent on the bench, Steve Smith.
I'll tell you what, Paul, as that Fowler goes on Tyler Cook there of Chaminade, his second. What a team this looked like on paper in September with the number 1 player, Harry Giles, who's out with a torn ACL, and Joe Hampton, who tore his ACL in October as well, who's ready to go to Penn State. It's still an incredibly talented roster.
I mean, it's a team of 8, 9 high major players. And guys that, in my mind, can find a home at the high major level, the Power 5 conference level.
Chaminade very early in their season. First game of the year was just on Tuesday. And he started a little bit later than some other teams on the national circuit.
Mike, when you have all the talent that Oak Hill has, Steve Smith does as good a job as any coach in the high school ranks, managing egos and disciplining guys, holding them accountable. He'll use the bench. And when these guys are this talented, this competitive, they don't want to sit.
Rodney Miller has to, though. That's his second foul. So Kenny Nwuba, the sophomore out of Jackson, Mississippi, is into the game for the first time tonight.
Look at those shoulders. He blocks shots and rebounds. He's got some offers already from Arizona State, Mississippi State, and Penn State. All the state schools.
Mississippi State, among those who started to clean up in recruiting over the last couple of classes under Ben Howland. Turning the corner, Matt Coleman, the junior from Norfolk, Virginia, makes it look pretty easy. The number 24 junior in this class.
That's his signature move, the pull-up jump shot for Coleman. 2 in the white. And he's got high majors all over him, Matt Coleman. Told me last night, schools that are really on him hard, Virginia, Texas, Ohio State, NC State, Arizona, the Hoosiers, and the Gators.
Key turns the corner. Oh, what a bounce on the reverse layup for Key.
Nice little dribble drive action between Coleman and Key. Just a handoff and an exchange.
Right now, Paul, it doesn't seem as though Chaminade has given Oak Hill a reason to change things up defensively.
Well, they're tentative against the zone. Nobody's really looking to shoot it. And nobody's looking to drive it. If you just pass the ball against the zone, it's going to be hard to score. You got to get player movement and ball movement. And you can screen the zone as well.
Trying to get some offense for Tatum as well. Foul way off from the basket. 3:28 in the second.
Number 24 in the ESPN 60, Matt Coleman. His signature move, the pull-up jump shot. Oak Hill up 9.
Cancer can take away all my physical abilities.
It cannot touch my mind.
It cannot touch my heart. And it cannot touch my soul.
The Jimmy V Foundation for Cancer Research.
His motto is,
don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Help us beat cancer. Log on to jimmyv.org or call 1-800-4JIMMY-V to donate, and all donations benefit the V Foundation for Cancer Research.
We saw Dickie V on that promo. At his gala, he's raised over $15 million over the years. This year, he's going to have Urban Meyer, Bo Ryan, and Robin Roberts, May 13th and 14th. I've been there, Mike. It's a moving experience. You laugh, you cry, and you think, just like Jimmy Valvano says.
And all for a good cause. Mike Cousins and Paul Biancardi with you here in Benton, Kentucky, as the number 5 team, Oak Hill, and the number 13 team in the country, Chaminade, square off. Jason Tatum, their number 22 in the red, is the nation's number 2 player in the senior class. Signed his letter of intent to go to Duke. Made that decision on the air with us in July.
Playing against
Harry Giles, his roommate on overseas trips with USA Basketball. The number 1 player, Harry Giles, out for the season with a torn ACL. But certainly a big part of his decision-making process, his relationship with Giles.
Oh, that was a big influence on his decision. Tatum told me, he said, you know, we spent 37 days together. We were either going to grow apart or together. And we got closer.
Out of a loose ball situation. How about that speed from Devontae Shuler out of South Carolina? He breaks away. Nobody can catch him.
Yeah, he brings instant energy, points, and defense to the Oak Hill Warriors, 20 in the white. Number 29 in the junior class, Shuler. I love the way he takes the power dribbles, jumps off of 2 feet, looks to create the contact. Speed, explosiveness. He's an excellent on-ball defender. Corey Alexander told us before the game, he's the guy who can pick up 94 feet. pressure any point guard in the nation.
Tyler Cook, the Iowa signee, his third foul of the first half, so likely for the final 3:14 of the second quarter. He'll have a seat with head coach Frank Bennett. Double team quickly finds Tatum. Good passes, get under the basket, and Tatum is there to try and scoop it back in. But the basket is waved off, and that's foul number 3 on Tatum going over the back.
Well, Gladson and Olsen are struggling to score at the rim. Size and girth. You see Tatum gets there. Looks like he avoided the inside guy and tipped it in, but from the official's angle, makes the over the back call. That's a big loss.
And a critical point here for Chaminade to see if they can come up with stops. They do not on that possession.
Now, if I'm Oak Hill and Steve Smith, I'm going to try to put the nail in the coffin right now. I'm going to extend my defense, then go back to the zone. I'm going to try to speed up this game without Tatum in it.
Second foul on Reggie Crawford. 10 team fouls against Chaminade. And Nwuba at the stripe, off on the first.
You think about what Chaminade loses: a ball handler, Jason Tatum, three-point shooter, mid-range guy, facilitator. The zone's been great for Oak Hill, but right now they can turn it up a notch. And they go man.
And now who's the primary threat here for Chaminade? It's Lewis with the ball on the wing. Helms. And it's intercepted. To the basket, the layup, no, but Key is going to the free throw line after he's hit hard and takes a tumble. Now tonight, after John Calipari's #1 Kentucky Wildcats take on UCLA, stick around for Sports Center at night. John Anderson and John Butchagras have the highlights and breakdown from that game, the rest of college hoops, plus the NBA, NHL, and Packers-Lions. Sports Center at night after Kentucky UCLA, right here on ESPN and streaming live on Watch ESPN.
Who you got in that game tonight, Kentucky and UCLA?
Kentucky.
Why?
I like their depth, even if Tyler Ulis is not on the floor.
UCLA is a good team, but when you look at their roster, they really don't have any NBA prospects. You look at Kentucky, they have 3 or 4, and I think if you're going to beat a team with NBA prospects, you may have to have one yourself.
Now the largest lead of the night. Oak Hill is up 32-21 over Chaminade with no Tatum and no Cook on the floor. Lewis quickly down the other end as his shot rejected by Nwuba. On the break to the corner, Wigginton goes cross court. Hyper speed passing from Oak Hill. Alexander, his second three, one from both corners.
Oak Hill feeling it offensively, giving it up quick, spacing the floor. You just knew that shot was going to go in, Mike.
It was too well executed of a possession for it not to end in a made field goal.
You talk about small ball, this is speed ball. Look at the way that ball zips around the perimeter, a little dribble gap kick. Corner was wide open. That's what Alexander does. He makes catch and shoot threes. Young man, 21 in the white, verbally committed to Creighton.
To illuminate the field goal struggles here for Chaminade, they've got 9 of their 21 points from the free throw line. 7 points belong to Tatum, and now the officials are going to discuss here upon whom the violation should be called. And they say send it the other way as Chaminade was in the lane and the free throw was missed.
Well, Chaminade can get a stop right here, Mike, and then basically I would take the air out of the basketball and hold it for one shot. You don't want to run the risk of going down more than 14 into the half.
I'm scratching my head right now because did I just hear you advocate for a potential 90-second possession?
Well, if there's no shot clock, yes. But the game needs a shot clock for sure.
Schuler's miss quickly cleaned up by Wigginton. And it's 37-21. Well, if you're not familiar with the high school game, there are only 8 states in the country that do require the shot clock. The other 42 play without it. And here in Kentucky, no shot clock. Gladson stepping out, hits from 3. The big man gets the bucket.
Yeah, much needed 3. You talk about the shot clock, Mike. The state of Utah may be one of the next states to turn the key on the shot clock. They're thinking about it.
After the first made field goal of the quarter, it's a 2-3 zone for Chaminade. That was their first made field goal here in the second.
Good move by Coach Bennett. Just sit in the zone. Steve Smith recognized that, going to call a play against the zone. He'll probably call a play against the zone or the man. See if Chaminade changes their defense.
And maybe perhaps a good time for a lob as well. We talked about Harry Giles, who is out with the ACL injury. Mario Kegler, Mississippi State. Joe Hampton is also sidelined with the ACL. And Hadim Sy on his way to Virginia Tech. Who behind Giles pops off this list the most to you?
It has to be Mario Kegler. Highly rated as a freshman, sophomore. Then he kind of got stale in his game, didn't make any improvements. He really had a great summer this year. Moved back up into the rankings. It's going to be a huge addition to Mississippi State. He's a guy who can play 3 or 4 on offense, and the same thing defensively. He can play multiple positions, and he can defend multiple positions. Really
a big boost for the class at Mississippi State. That went from 21st in the country to number 6 in the early signing period. Kegler, a center, and Schneider Herard, who's number 67 in the ESPN 100. It's part of a 6-man haul.
And there's a guy that's not ranked, but he is evaluated, Lamar Peters from New Orleans, a left-handed shooter. I really like his game.
Out of the timeout, back to man-to-man defense for Chaminade, down 37-24. Alexander, who's got a couple threes in his pocket. Top Coleman.
Yeah, just a little delay game to hold the ball for the last second. Chaminade breaks down. Oak Hill will take a layup, but if not, they're going to hold it for the last shot. And it looks like it's going to be Wigginton.
The junior from Canada on the move, 5 seconds, he turns it over. It's Lewis who gets the shot off, the bounce doesn't go. And at the half, it's Oak Hill up 37-24. Lots coming your way here at the half. We'll look at the top freshmen from the class of 2015 and a preview of some Monday action between Huntington Prep and Montford. Chaminade in foul trouble, down 13 at the break.
Got the opportunity to be a big-time player. There is no one else in college basketball quite like him.
Simmons, coast to coast. Numbers for Kentucky. LaBissiere with a slam.
You can see the talent of Brandon Ingram.
Ingram spinning, adjusting, and finishing.
Back here in Benton, Kentucky, Oak Hill, the number 5 team in the country, up 37-24. Over Chaminade at halftime. Glad to have you along here today as we open up the high school hoop season. Mike Cousins, Paul Biancardi, and John Stovall along with you. Looking at some of the top freshmen from the class of 2015, now making their mark in the college game. Everybody by now knows who Ben Simmons is at LSU. What kind of an impact does he make at the next level?
At the pro level?
At the college level,
At
I
the
should
college
say.
level?
Yeah.
The thing is, he was physically ready for the college game in high school. He showed it this summer in some of the camps that he was in. He was ready. And his skill level and his IQ have really stood out so far.
Paul, when he was in high school at Montford, he was perpetually the number 1 player in the country. Now, he didn't really have to look at scouting reports or worry about who was guarding him. How does that change in college?
Well, that's the point. That's the learning curve for Ben Simmons. It's not the speed of the game. It's not the physicality of the game for Ben Simmons. It's the ability to digest scouting report defense. He is the first name for every team that he's going to play against, and he's seeing different defenses. He has to learn how to play the game and think the game and understand that scouting report, and he's got to learn how to play with his guys better. You know, I saw the game against NC State. Cat Barber switched out to him. He thought he was going to drive Cat Barber. That's not happening in college. In high school, maybe, but at the collegiate level, you have to make the mental adjustments.
The other players in our freshman focus as well, you've got Brandon Ingram at Duke, who just had a huge game against Indiana, a 20-point win at Cameron Indoor, and Skal Labissiere, a guy who's got a tremendous backstory, John, coming from Haiti, and has played very well for Kentucky.
Yeah, Skal's upside personified. He's his skill level and his size and his length and his athletic ability, he's got all the tools.
And Paul, for Duke fans, the word is patience with Brandon Ingram, right?
Yeah, you have to be patient. He doesn't have that alpha dog mentality. He likes to go into the water 1 foot at a time. He doesn't run in and jump in. But Coach K jumped on him, and he delivered with 18 points in 12 minutes the other night against Indiana. Loaded, oozing with upside, as I like to say. All the skill in the world. The NBA loves Brandon Ingram, so he has to play well right now for Duke.
This year's class at Duke, not quite the same as it was a year ago, ready to take over college basketball, but still playing well. At the half, Benton, Kentucky, Oak Hill with a 13-point lead over Chaminade and Jason Tatum, who's the number 2 player in the country. Welcome back, Mike Cousins, Paul Biancardi, and John Stovall of ESPN's Recruiting Nation. Coming up on Monday, it's another great matchup of high school basketball down outside Orlando in Montverde Academy, which used to have the number 1 player in the country, Ben Simmons, still a very strong team, and they take on another national powerhouse in Huntington Prep out of West Virginia. John, we'll start with Montverde. No more Ben Simmons, but the talent pipeline still coming up, very young though.
Yes, they have 2 of the best sophomores in the country with E.J. Montgomery and Silvio D'Souza. Silvio's a man-child, big, strong inside, dominator. E.J. is skilled, able to play either the 3 or the 4 spot. They both have great upsides.
E.J. Montgomery, a guy that we've had our eyes on since at least 7th or 8th grade.
Yes, sir.
And Paul, on the other side for Huntington Prep, the experience is there.
Well, speaking about a man-child, Miles Bridges, top 10 player in the class, left-handed, explosive. He has a 3-point shot. He's hard to guard. He can finish at the rim, and he can make the outside shot. I don't know who Montverde has to cover Miles Bridges. He's the star of that Michigan State recruiting class, number 3 class in the country.
Montverde has had a lot of talent over the last few years. D'Angelo Russell, who went to Ohio State and to the NBA, Ben Simmons. Is it fair to say that Montverde this year is a little bit like the Oak Hill team we're watching right now? No more Dwayne Bacon for Oak Hill, no more Ben Simmons at Montverde. It's more of a spread-out effort.
Yeah, there's no one key guy this year. They'll be able to spread out their offense. They have a lot of guys who can do things. Howard Washington's an excellent shooter. The 2 sophomores. They're still going to be a very good team, just a little bit different this year than what it's been in the past.
And Oak Hill taking on Chaminade here. Foul trouble for Jason Tatum going to Duke. Tyler Cook headed to Iowa. They'll be back on the floor when we return for the second half. Welcome back to the Geico ESPN High School Basketball Showcase. We're at Marshall County High School in Benton, Kentucky. And we take a look at our first half stats brought to you by Geico. Oak Hill taking advantage of some foul trouble from Chaminade. Both teams hitting 3 3-pointers, but Chaminade has 9 of those 24 points, so about a third of their scoring coming from the free throw line, and 10 turnovers as well. Part of that 2-3 defense that Oak Hill coach Steve Smith put out there and worked pretty well.
Very balanced attack for Oak Hill. You see Mario Kegler only 2 points, Braxton Key with 9. Matt Coleman's been terrific, 3 for 6 from the field, 3 for 5 from threes. This is how Oak Hill can beat you, Mike. They have multiple weapons. You don't know who to guard. You don't know who to zero in on. When you look at Chaminade, you know if you take out Jason Tatum and Tyler Cook, you're going to win the game.
And that's exactly what happened in the first half. Cook, who's number 51 in the senior class with 3 fouls, the same for Tatum. And as good a player as he is, Frank Bennett, their head coach, couldn't afford to leave him on the floor at all costs. But now back in the game, he had 5 points in quarter number 1, just 2 in the second quarter, and they'll need more out of him to pick up a win here over Oak Hill.
First thing Chaminade has to do is take a stand defensively, and they didn't do it. Oak Hill right to the basket. They beat the first man. They finished over the help.
Lindell Wigginton, the junior from Nova Scotia, steps through the defense. It's 39-24. Lewis scoops and delivers. Tatum dangerously close to basket interference.
Really no space on the floor for Jason Tatum. He's not surrounded by shooters. He goes into the post and the defense just sags.
Coleman trapped on the baseline. Cross court, Wigginton. Coleman a little closer in the short corner. What a rebound there from Nadim C to get up. He takes the missed shot and turns it into a foul. Just his presence alone at 6'9", 245 is creating opportunities for the Warriors.
Nadim C has really improved under Steve Smith. He's active inside. He can score with either hand at the rim. He's got a little short jump shot. Signed with Buzz Williams at Virginia Tech.
That's foul number 4 on Tyler Cook. Exactly what Chaminade couldn't have happened. Helms in transition. Whistled for his second personal.
And another turnover for Chaminade. That's their 11th.
So Cook now takes a seat with those 4 fouls, the 3-year starter. And Helms to the bench as well. So it's been a lot of different and perhaps unconventional lineups for Chaminade against a sizable opponent, both in stature and height for Oak Hill.
With the foul trouble to Cook and Tatum, Chaminade has not got in an offensive rhythm at all.
C muscles his way right through Will Gladson. Pound for pound, a good matchup. But C emerges the victor.
Buzz Williams is going to love coaching Nadim C because he has a teachable spirit, great body to work with, and good hands at the rim.
Tatum gets closed out on and drives his way to the free throw line. If a player is going to go to Blacksburg and play for Buzz Williams, does that player have to share the same energy level that Buzz Williams does?
Probably, but I hope they don't have to dress the same.
Not the same perspiration?
And not the same suit jackets. Buzz has to have an appointment with Neiman Marcus or somebody.
At halftime.
He's doing a great job with the Hokies. We talked to him at ACC Media Day. He's got some ESPN Top 100 talent coming in.
And is powered by a former teammate of Ben Simmons at Montverde Academy, Justin Bibbs.
Justin Bibbs, a left-hander, 6'5" shooting guard. I love Chris Clark out of Virginia, 6'6". Just brings the energy that Buzz Williams wants. And he's a culture guy.
Had a great game the other night, going to overtime against Northwestern at Castle Coliseum.
You see more and more coaches, recruiting, looking for, talking to me about energy and effort and intensity. It's a long season. They can't have guys that are not going to play hard.
Crawford got the deflection. C takes it away twice. Wigginton from the corner airballs. And Key uncontested from the right block.
And nobody, and I mean nobody from Chaminade on the defensive glass.
The response is from Mike Lewis, who signed to Duquesne with a triple. But nobody's getting back. That was another good look there for Kegler, who picked up 2 fouls quickly in the first half. The Mississippi State signing. Tatum's off balance. His shot doesn't go.
Good effort by Gladson, just couldn't secure the offensive rebound.
Tatum had to be careful, couldn't pick up a foul, and Wigginton breezes by for the lay-in.
And Steve Smith holding up 2 fingers. You're going to get back to that 2-3 zone and keep a shadow. That means keep a watch on Jason Tatum. 22 in the red, left of your screen. See, this is taking too much time for Chaminade. They got to get right into their attack.
It's a contested look. C gets a hand up right in front. He's been a defensive presence today. He runs the floor, the senior from Nashville.
What a pass by Matt Coleman.
He's got 15. Wigginton under the bucket, off the window, and Oak Hill is up 49-31.
Watch this pass by Matt Coleman. First of all, there's a finish at the rim. Matt Coleman almost hit his head at the rim. Wigginton with the finish.
Timeout for Chaminade. Trying to cut into this deficit. Paul coming up after this game. Kentucky, UCLA, 9 Eastern here on ESPN. Talked a lot about Kentucky, but how about Bryce Alford? 3-point threat, Tony Parker, who's got 5 double-doubles this year for UCLA. can also see that game streaming live on Watch ESPN as the Bruins try and give Kentucky a close one. So far, their closest game has been 11 points.
I'll tell you what, Steve Alford needs Pauley Pavilion to be loud. They need to be a home court advantage. They can't come and sit on their hands and show up late. Not for Kentucky.
They need a light Blue Nation to help beat Big Blue Nation. Tatum has it stripped. Schuler up ahead. Just short of the dunk try for Wigginton.
I don't think I've ever seen Schuler not make a dunk, Mike.
Tatum through 3 defenders, and he gets fouled. Key, C, and Schuler were all there.
Jason Tatum has the basketball in his hands. The defense for Oak Hill just converges. And that's where he's got to kick it out. He's trying to do that. He's trying to bring his team back all by himself. And the defense is just loading up against Jason Tatum, the number 2 player in the nation. If he had a point guard that could facilitate and Tyler Cook was not in foul trouble, he'd be able to free himself more on the wing.
He's already had quite the career as a high school player, winning gold medals with USA Basketball in Uruguay, Dubai, and Greece this past summer. Sean Miller, Ed Cooley, Archie Miller on that staff for USA Basketball. This is a guy who, when he shows up to play at Duke, you think he'll be college ready day one as a starter?
Yes. When you look at his body, he's long, he's strong. There'll be space on the floor at Duke because there'll be other great players who can score the basketball. He's got a good IQ for the game. Coach K does a phenomenal job of shaping his offense to his talent. You can put Tatum inside, or you can put him on the wing, or you can have him bring up the basketball.
A lot of contact on that loose ball. Tatum then steps in and takes it away. On the floor, right to the basket, and a flush with the right hand to try and get his team back into it.
But Tatum will have to make a huge adjustment, Mike, on the defensive end, just like Brandon Ingram.
On the take, a blocking foul, and Braxton Key goes to the free throw line. Jason Tatum trying to do it himself, flushes over Key. Welcome back to Jimmy V Week for Cancer Research on ESPN as we continue our commitment to the V Foundation and Jim Valvano's dream to defeat cancer. Here in Benton, Kentucky, it's a 49-33 advantage for the number 5 team in the country, Oak Hill. 3:37 left third quarter. Mike Cousins and Paul Biancardi. And we ask Coach B, in terms of recruiting, what sets Coach K apart from other coaches throughout the nation? Paul.
Well, beside 5 national titles, Mike, and over 1,000 wins, Coach K has adapted to the recruiting times. The mixtures of the one-and-dones and the 4-year players, he's now willing to accept and blend them together. But, you know, at Duke, to play for Coach K, they have to be the right guy, a guy who fits the Duke culture. He's also had a great staff over the years. You think about Wojciechowski and Collins, and now Jeff Capel and John Shire and Nate James. The assistants do a bulk of the recruiting, but make no mistake about it, they go to play for Coach K.
Tatum drifting away. Cook is back in the game with 4 fouls and tips it in for the bucket, a 15-point game. I posed this question to Seth Greenberg last week when we were watching Duke and Utah State play. Has the recruiting style of Coach K changed, or has the players' mentality changed that they just want to leave college sooner?
Well, some of them want to leave sooner, and some want to stay for 4 years, and I think Coach K does a great job of evaluating the talent, and he knows that who can go and who can't, who needs time, and who can go. He was clear about Jabari Parker, Okafor, and when I talked to him about Winslow, we all thought Tyus Jones needed a couple of years.
Sure.
Played himself into the draft. But they're not afraid to recruit the one-and-done guys, and they're not afraid to let them go.
Offensive foul the other end. Mike Lewis getting offensive. Draining his second 3. Back to a 12-point game. What a difference it's made with Cook on the floor. He gets out of the lane, and Key rises to finish.
Matt Coleman, number 2 in the white, continues to make outstanding passes to his teammates.
That's over the top of the backboard and out of bounds. Lewis feeling the hot hand for Chaminade.
We talked about Trayvon Duval earlier, the #1 point guard in the nation. Matt Coleman, top 25 prospect in the junior class, and one of the best point guards in the junior class.
And right into the lane. He's not getting a good bounce. Tatum with the rebound. He's got space on the edge. Signature fadeaway. And it's turned into a bit of a track meet the last couple possessions.
Anytime Tatum can create space or get space, he's got to put it up in this game.
Into the corner, one dribble, step in. Key is pure. How
about how smooth and easy Braxton Key made that shot fake, put it on the deck and pull up jump shot. I mean, that's how you beat a defense, is with poise.
From the corner, Reggie Crawford, the junior, with the answer. 1:30 to go, third quarter. Taylor Jeffries, the senior guard, picks up full court against Coleman. On the baseline, Kegler steps out of bounds. He's had an offensive foul and a turnover stepping out of bounds in the last couple minutes.
Chaminade coming to life here in the last couple of minutes of the third quarter. Coach Frank Bennett struggled early with foul trouble to Cook and Tatum. With a three, Mike, can get it to 10.
It's not as though that foul trouble has dissipated. Cook still with 4. Tatum has 3. But the supporting cast has started to turn things up a little bit.
And that's what Chaminade needed. A third score.
A la Reggie Crawford. He keeps it going. A three-pointer. Depression. Paul Biancardi says it's a 10-point game, and it is.
Just psychologically going down 10 versus, in the high teens. It gives you hope. It gives you life in the huddle. And the stop right now could really change the momentum of the game if Chaminade could get a stop.
It's Key, guarded by Tatum. He blows by, drops it off, out of bounds. Chaminade basketball.
Huge defensive possession for the Red Devils.
Jeffries getting them into the offense. Tatum right in the middle of that. The big tower with Rodney Miller behind him. Tatum in the corner. Now 11 seconds left, third quarter.
He should get a ball screen against the zone, then attack. Somebody should ball screen for him.
Instead, trying to go one-on-one, down to 3 seconds. Cross-court pass. Crawford. It was an awkward-looking shot, but Chaminade pulls it to within 10. 1 quarter to play in Kentucky. In Kentucky, the Geico ESPN High School Basketball Showcase. Quarter number 4. Chaminade in the red out of Missouri, Oak Hill in the white. And Jason Tatum, the number 2 player in the country, headed to Duke next year, cuts it to an 8-point game.
And I love the set play by Coach Bennett. Tatum at the left elbow. Cook was coming to set a ball screen. Tatum rejects it right to the rim.
Braxton Key turns past Tatum, and his shot comes up short off the window. Tatum pushes the break in a 5-on-4, challenged by Hadim C, and a foul at the basket. Tatum, when he wants to get to the rim, can do so almost at will.
Mike, he's long, he's athletic. Not a great athlete, but he's a good enough athlete. But he understands how to get his shot off in the paint. And he has the ability to shoot over others at 6'8".
There's his mom, Brandy Cole, leading that Chaminade cheering group right at midcourt. They're at Marshall County High School in Benton, Kentucky. Tatum good again.
Mike, Chaminade has whittled this down to a 2-possession game right now to start the fourth quarter. It didn't look that way in the middle of the third. They've done it with defense and Jason Tatum getting open for some looks.
Reggie Crawford as well helped Chaminade hit 3 3-pointers in the third quarter. Wigginton bumped as he goes down the lane. It's another empty possession for Oak Hill. Tatum's on the break. A kick to the wing, a three in the air, short. Jeffries couldn't get it. And Schuler on the breakaway with an emphatic finish.
Right now it has to be Jason Tatum, 22 in the red, and Tyler Cook, 21 in the red, to step up for Chaminade.
Supporting cast, Mike Lewis answers after the breakaway from Schuler.
Look at Chaminade picking up half-court man. Just trying to speed up Oak Hill a little bit into some bad shots, into some quick shots.
The lead was as many as 18 for Oak Hill in this game. Now down to just 6. Schuler, the native of Columbia, South Carolina, averaged 26 points a game last year. Transferring now in his first season at Oak Hill. Ball poked away, and last touch by Matt Coleman. Chaminade basketball. Well, coming up Friday, NBA Friday, presented by State Farm, New York, New Jersey. Keep an eye on Kristaps Porzingis, and then 9:30, LeBron and the Cavs, Anthony Davis and the Pelicans. Both games also live on Watch ESPN.
There's a big ring Steve Smith had in that shot, huh? Like an NBA championship ring.
Stressful times for the head coach of Oak Hill. Tatum from the corner. On the baseline drive. And they hit Schuler with the whistle, his second foul. Schuler, number 29 in the ESPN 60. That's the junior class. Cook playing with 4 fouls, the Iowa signee. Kicks it outside for Lewis.
Big win last night for Fran McCaffrey. Iowa over Florida State.
Tatum with an open 3. Oak Hill 56, Chaminade 53.
Just like that, Jason Tatum has 18 points, 9 rebounds, most of them in the second half. 7 in this quarter, Mike.
And a whistle before the spin from Wigginton. So Tatum has come to play tonight. Last year, averaged 26 points, 11 rebounds as a junior with Chaminade. Part of his college saga, Paul, he's playing in his hometown, was where would he go to school? And for a guy who has signed to Duke, St. Louis was a part of his thought process.
The Billikens were a big part of it. He told me that was his second choice.
Inbounds intercepted by Lewis, and he's fouled, drawing contact from Coleman.
But you know, Mike, in recruiting, everybody's in second place when you don't get your guy. But he loved the home school, he loved the Billikens.
Would that have been on the same level of Ben Simmons going to LSU?
Oh, much more than that. I mean, LSU's in the SEC, St. Louis in the A-10.
Just somewhere a little bit off the beaten path for a guy who
it would have been very unexpected.
A top 5 player.
You know, we know that Ben Simmons went to LSU to follow his godfather, David Patrick. Now, if David Patrick was an assistant at McNeese State,
probably not,
and Ben Simmons went there, that would be big. David Patrick does an outstanding job of recruiting and scouting for Johnny Jones.
It's a great team and a good supporting cast around Simmons as well. 1 point game that was as many as 18. Chaminade gets the ball. 4:50 to go here in the fourth quarter.
You know, Mike, Oak Hill has 1 loss this year. They were up 18 at the half, and they took their foot off the gas, and that's what I'm seeing right now by the Warriors.
From deep! Just the second time that Chaminade has led. Their first lasted all of 11 seconds. Timeout, Oak Hill. And what a comeback this has been, led by Jason Tatum, the number 2 player in the senior class.
Tatum starting to get in a rhythm. Key with his hand down and a hand late. Jason Tatum just rises up. Look at the rotation. The wrist snap on the follow through. He's a happy camper.
Frank Bennett, a Chaminade grad himself, 14 years prior. Excited about these final few minutes of play. Tatum with 10 here in the fourth quarter. Still 4.5 minutes left. Their first lead since it was an 18-17 game.
Jason Tatum has been working with Drew Hanlon on that three-point shot. Drew Hanlon, one of the best basketball skill instructors in the country. He works with Andrew Wiggins, Bradley Beal, Dwight Howard, Zach LaVine. He's really worked on Tatum in that release and the elbow placement.
Bradley Beal, an alum of Chaminade. In this quarter, Tatum 10 points and Oak Hill with just 2.
Now nobody from Oak Hill on that possession went to the glass.
Tatum head down to the bucket. Give him 2 more. And the lead is now 4 for the Red Devils. Wigginton. And he has the ball stripped as he gets into the lane. Tatum again. A kick out, a corner 3. In and out.
But that was the right play, Mike. Tatum was too deep and his teammate was open.
Mario Kegler gets the free pass from Tatum. 3 fouls, and Tatum knows that if Chaminade's going to make it a win, he's got to be on the floor. Now guarded by Kegler, a great matchup on the edge. Number 2 versus number 32. Tatum fades. Too much.
Matt Coleman trying to settle the troops down, see if they can get a paint score.
Tatum through the screen. It's outside for Kegler. And the future Mississippi State Bulldog delivers.
That's what he does best, Mario Kegler. He makes threes, and he can go into the paint. Love his versatility.
Former high school teammate of current Bulldog Malik Newman at Callaway High School in Jackson, Mississippi, his freshman year.
What a great matchup between him and Jason Tatum.
Cook sees the open space and gets hard contact at the rim. Free throws and a chance to retake the lead when we come back.
Geico ESPN High School Basketball Showcase is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Kevin Connors in studio. All right, Kentucky fans, we promise it's coming your way. 7.5 minutes here on ESPN. Skal Labissiere and the #1 Wildcats set to take on UCLA from Pauley Pavilion. Back to Mike and Paul.
All right, Kevin, it has sometimes been sour tonight for Chaminade, but they're trying to squeeze every last ounce of excitement out of this one. Down by as many as 18. They've come back to retake the lead in the second half. Now down 1. And Iowa signee Tyler Cook at the free throw line. Now at best can tie the game from the stripe. Number 51 player in the ESPN 100, part of a 4-man class in 2016 for Fran McCaffrey and the Iowa Hawkeyes.
A nice point guard coming in, Jordan Bohannon from the state of Iowa.
He's got a whole family that's played college basketball.
Linn-Mar High School, same high school as Marcus Page.
0 for 2 on the trip for Cook. Still a 1-point lead for Oak Hill in the white. On the drive, Wigginton is short. Double team, full court pressure. Jeffries the release foul. Straight up, Rodney Miller helps deny Mike Lewis. Up ahead, Wigginton on the run. Gets the lay in, a 3-point game with under 2 minutes to go.
Right now for Chaminade, it has to be Jason Tatum and Tyler Cook in 2-man games.
7-0 run for Oak Hill.
Great defense by Rodney Miller. Just standing straight up, being a shield to the rim. He's going to play for Jim Larinaga at Miami.
90 seconds, and there is no shot clock. You're in the state of Kentucky, so it's up to the Chaminade defense to try and get the ball back. Very little incentive for Oak Hill to give them an opportunity.
But they don't want to stop playing, Mike. That's what got them in this hole to begin with. They took their foot off the gas. They fell asleep. Chaminade took advantage. You still have to look to score right now. You're only up one possession.
Coleman over his head. And it's a blocking foul at the basket inside of 1 minute to play.
Matt Coleman. Clever. Crafty off the bounce. Great with the pull-up game, but he recognizes space on the floor. Goes right to the rim.
Where does his recruiting stand right now?
Well, he told me yesterday there were 8 schools he felt that were consistently on him. Virginia, Texas, Ohio State, North Carolina State, Arizona, Florida, and the Hoosiers on him consistently.
A 4-point lead. Tatum and the Red Devils need a quick basket, and they don't get it from their star. Kegler drives, contact, and the call is a block at the free throw line, with Cook trying to take the charge, and that'll be foul number 5 of Tyler Cook.
Well, in the 2-possession game with no shot clock, under a minute, Chaminade should have fouled right on the miss.
So Cook's day is done. 6 points, the 3-year starter at Chaminade.
And he's going to have a fantastic career at Iowa. Love his body. Love his approach to the game. He's got that workman-like mentality. Very productive. Great hands. Good post-up game.
Braxton Key looking to get it in.
You got a foul.
Coleman.
If you're not going to foul, you should be trapping. You just can't play straight 2-possession game.
And the reach in comes from Gladson at 31.5 to send Kegler to the free throw line. Coming up next, it'll be number 1 Kentucky, the undefeated Wildcats, and UCLA, one of the prime early season matchups in college basketball.
A teaching moment and a learning moment for Frank Bennett and his team. That ball got inbounded in 45 seconds. That's when the foul should have occurred. You know, the clock is your enemy, especially without a shot clock. But with under a minute, 2 possessions, it wouldn't have mattered.
Kegler coming off a year where he averaged 15 and 7 at Arlington Country Day in Florida. Timeout, and now let's send you to the studio for a quick update.
Yeah, Mike, a reminder that we are counting you down. Just over 2 minutes to go until Tony Parker and the UCLA Bruins take on the number 1 team in America. Parker 5 double-doubles on the season. He'll have his hands full tonight. Kentucky UCLA after our game. Mike?
All right, it's down to the wire right on the doorstep of Kentucky and UCLA. Oak Hill 66 and Chaminade 60. Whoever drew that sign is the second smartest person in the building. I happen to believe I'm sitting next to the first smartest person in the building. That's Paul Biancardi.
Mike, I love these compliments. Keep throwing them out. We only got about 31 seconds to go. But give Oak Hill a lot of credit. Up big in this game. Chaminade tied it, took the lead 4 points. It was a 22-point swing. Oak Hill fights back, has a 6-point lead with 31 to go.
Tatum gets the free path to the basket, and a timeout called by Frank Bennett of Chaminade, a 30-second timeout.
Now, if you're Oak Hill, You have to know that Jason Tatum, especially in light of Tyler Cook being out of the game, is going to try to score via the drive like he just did, the step-back jumper, or the three-point shot. You maybe want to show him a double team to get the ball out of his hands.
And Tatum, we talked about the gold medals he's won with USA Basketball. Part of his development working on that shot.
Yeah, with Drew Hanlon, he's got his elbow to come down more. The bottom clip is the way Jason Tatum used to shoot the ball. The elbow's way too high, the ball's behind his head. Drew Hanlon brought his elbow down. You see a 90-degree angle, and that creates more arc on the shot. Big improvement for Jason Tatum in his three-point shooting.
And Kegler quickly fouled.
Another learning and teaching moment. You can even foul off the ball, so there's no time elapsed if you're Chaminade. Don't even let the ball come in. Foul off the ball, go right to the line.
Kentucky and UCLA right after we finish things up here in Benton, Kentucky. Mario Kegler, originally from Jackson, Mississippi, headed to playing for Ben Howland at Mississippi State next year, part of the number 6 recruiting class in the country that he helped make a big jump in the ESPN Recruiting Nation rankings from 21st to 6th in the early signing period.
That's what happens when you get a top 50 player.
Tatum needs a 3, goes for it. Another quick foul, it's Key who will go to the line with 12.9 seconds to play and a 5-point lead for Oak Hill.
Mississippi State is going to be a player in the future in the SEC. So is an Auburn under Bruce Pearl. Bruce acquiring some great talent
in Tennessee.
Rick Barnes, Final Four coach. And then you have Avery Johnson, a former colleague. He's got Braxton Key coming in next year, and he's got Terrence Ferguson committed.
And Tatum trying to run the floor. Draws contact from Wigginton. After the fact, goes hands up. Foul clearly on the junior from Nova Scotia. Well, nevertheless, if Chaminade does not come out on the winning end of this, Jason Tatum did all he could to try and buoy this team toward a win. His supporting cast was good, and probably the toughest factor against him was Tyler Cook, his teammate, with early foul trouble and has since fouled out here in the second half.
Reggie Crawford, one in the red, made some important threes on the comeback. You know, Jason Tatum trying to find the balance between being the man, scoring all the points, and still facilitating. He's an unselfish superstar. When you put him on the wing, Mike, and you have a point guard like Derek Thornton, you have a low post player inside, Chase Jeter, somebody that can score and be a threat with their back to the basket. You got Giles. Well, now you're giving Tatum room to operate off the bounce. The defense will sag in, there'll be more open shots. He'll be a double-figure scorer next year as a freshman at Duke.
All things with Derek Thornton, Luke Kennard, Brandon Ingram.
Luke Kennard can stroke it.
One of the best shooters in the freshman class. So that is zeros on the clock, 69-62. Oak Hill wins it. Let's send you to Los Angeles, Kentucky, and UCLA.
Norman J. Billis, and we are underway.